Monica, thank you very much for the kind introduction, and we're thrilled on behalf of our team. We thank you for the opportunity to serve your group on the 401k plan. So I'm going to start off with a rhetorical riddle, and or before I do that, in fact, it sounds like the phones have quieted down a lot, but to the extent that you have a lot of background noise where you are, if you could please mute your phone, that would be great. But otherwise, it sounds magnificent right now. Thank you for, on behalf of everyone, for being quiet if you can be. So anyway, rhetorical riddle, because some of you might know the answer. We have some people that keep listening to our broadcast here because they like it so much. But what does your company, Biobehavioral Care, have in common with Coca-Cola Corporation, Nordstrom, Edward Jones Investments, Snapchat in the news yesterday, Red Bull, Angie's List, and Nintendo? So what does your company have in common with all those companies? The answer is you all now have a Transamerica retirement program. So Transamerica is the record keeper and plan administrator for all those companies, and as well as yours. So you're in good company. All those are leading companies and have fantastic HR teams, but like your company. But nonetheless, you've got a very high quality retirement plan to utilize for yourself. And a lot of people know that 401k plans are the leading way for Americans to save for retirement. Anyhow, the 401k plan is the number one household asset in America. You can always accumulate money for retirement another way. So perhaps you could use rental homes. You can use, who knows? You could just buy individual stocks. You could have IRAs, etc. But the 401k plan offers a lot of headroom from a contribution standpoint. You'll see that some of you can contribute many times more than you can in an IRA program. And then we need another person to mute their phone, perhaps. But the idea of the 401k is it doesn't require any skill. You can just show up. You don't even have to pick your investment options these days. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And in fact, you don't even have to sign up for it at your company. You'll be automatically enrolled if you don't give us a negative election. So great way to accumulate wealth, and doesn't require any specific skill set, and you can still practice your craft as a practitioner and not have to take off a lot of time to manage your portfolio of rental homes or whatever you might be doing alternatively. So based on the plan here, this is what I look like. My son also helps service the plan, and he's an accredited investment fiduciary as I am. I've got a few more designations and a few more gray hairs, but nonetheless, we would welcome any calls. If we're not in the office, there's Cindy and Kelly can answer your questions as well on the 401k plan. And what a question might be: how do I enroll? What do my investment options look like, etc. So we're happy to answer any and all questions going forward. Of course, our phone number here, we're in Michigan, but we have a toll-free number. We're happy to set up personal phone appointments. And if someone wants to stop by our office, we'd love to meet with you in person if you want to talk about the plan. So, a massive amount of information. And we also provide personalized retirement plan, retirement readiness estimates. And we'll cover that later in the broadcast, so to speak. So here's some obligatory regulatory slides. There's no obligation to purchase a product by listening to this today, etc. I'll give you a few seconds to read this. And then we're licensed in several states, and that would be somewhat, although the plan's domiciled in Michigan, so that's pretty much all we need to worry about. But in case you're wondering, we have national presence. The key here is join the plan. So alternatively, if you don't join the plan, you might be left behind on some retirement savings. But I've got a lot of designations, which I won't belabor on. But nonetheless, I'm from the one conferred by UCLA is the Certified 401k Plan Professional, CKP. So basically, when we look at the Transamerica material here, which we're going through, the get on track. So we're going to show you how to join the plan and check your progress going forward. Stay on track would be you maximizing your retirement savings and diversifying your investments. So Warren Buffett, I believe, said the only free lunch is diversification. So you can lower your risk by having more legs on a chair. And unless you're not using a target date fund, probably the largest mistake I see people making a 401k plan is being poorly diversified or having too high or too low a risk for their needs. And then when you're going to be leaving the plan, or if you want to estimate, if you need to move your assets out of the plan, etc., because you've left your employment with the company, which is unlikely, we'd help you with that too. So Transamerica's got a great program from a standpoint of easy to observe your condition if you put in some basic data, so you can know if your outlook for retirement is rainy. Hopefully no one's is rainy, of course, but you want to, if you're cloudy and you want to go to partly sunny, it'll show you easily how you can do that by contributing more money, maybe changing your investment mix, etc. So pretty neat stuff from Transamerica, and we would highly recommend that you utilize the website, and we'll touch on some of those tools later in today's presentation. Next slide would reveal goals. We're going to show you how to enroll, how do you establish your savings rate, that would be your deferral or how much you're contributing to the plan. Also, tools and resources, what's available on the Transamerica platform and from our office, and your next steps. So, easy to participate. How easy? It's so easy that you don't have to do anything. So if someone is listening to the call and says, I would like to be in the plan, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. As long as you're employed on July 1st or your first couple payrolls in July, you're going to be auto-enrolled into the plan at a savings rate of 6%, and your money will go into an age-appropriate retirement fund for you. And what could be more easy? All you'll have to do is pick a beneficiary. So some of you will want to take deliberate steps to enroll, pick a specific deferral rate, and your investment options and beneficiary. That's a fine way to sign up too. So investments are easy to pick, and if you want special coaching or ideas, you can fill out a risk tolerance questionnaire. And once we review that, and we can send that to you, and then once we review that, we can help you select investments that might be in keeping with your risk level. And also, you can plan. So how are you trending to retirement? There's a lot of great calculators embedded in the Transamerica program that you can use. Optional, of course, but if you want to use them, the world's your oyster. And getting help, you can call Transamerica. You can call our office. We can help you with a lot of things. And someone could choose to use, say, 5% contribution rate, and you can use any whole percentage above zero. And you can, in this case, they show 10%, and the maximum is determined by your age, believe it or not. So if you are under 50, which probably almost everyone on the call is under 50, you can do 18,000. But if someone is over 50, in the year in which you turn 50, you can bump up your contribution rate to as high as $24,000. So that is called a catch-up contribution, and that's for people to obviously catch up with their retirement savings in theory. Even if you're not behind, you can still do it, by the way, but it's allowed if you're 50 and up. So again, it's an opportunity, but your maximum is determined by the IRS, not me, and it is always here. And we are providing sheets for you individually from a company called FlexSoft that'll show what your maximum percentage is. And if you have any questions, you can always call our office. But very good opportunity to move forward. Beyond that, let's take a look at an example. You've got someone called me the other day from your group, and they said, should I participate or not? I'm considering doing it. I don't know if I should. I'm near retirement. So let's just say someone's 2 years away from retirement. They're wondering what the advantage would be. There's potentially a huge tax advantage. There may not be a giant investment gain advantage because you don't have that many years to grow your money. But if you're working and if you're a practitioner, you're definitely, unless you have a massive amount of money already saved for retirement that is in a taxable area, such as a retirement plan or pension, I mean millions, then when you go to take out your money, you're going to probably be in a lower tax bracket than you were when you were working. And again, I can't give tax advice, but unless you have a substantial amount of taxable income when you're not working, then you're going to probably save a lot of money from an income tax standpoint. And you can just consult the IRS tax table or talk to your CPA. But if you're some of our people that retire are in a 7 or 10% tax bracket when they're withdrawing money out of their IRAs or 401k plans. And if that's you, when you retire, and right now you're in a 30% combined tax bracket, let's say between state and federal, that's a 20% advantage you're getting by just shoving some money into the plan and taking it out in a couple years. I don't know who wouldn't want that, but that's a massive advantage for someone. Even if you've got a couple years left, think about the tax leverage, and it's huge. So again, if you want to know more about that, we can give you an example. We can email you a copy of the United States tax code, the income tax table. You can ask your CPA, but it's a big opportunity. So if you leave the company, you can roll your money to an IRA. You can leave funds in the plan. If you have over $5,000 invested in this plan, you can leave your money, or you can roll money to a new employer's plan. If you went to a hospital after being employed at biobehavioral care, then you can roll your money there. You can take a cash distribution. Also, during your employment, you can take loans. So this is much more liquid than an IRA because you can take a loan of up to half your account, maximum $50,000, minimum loans $1,000. So there's a loan provision. With an IRA, you might know you can't borrow money. It's a taxable event if you take the money out. This can save you a substantial amount of money if you just need to have a short-term need for your usage of your retirement dollars. Another thing that you might want to consider is you can roll money in from other plans if you choose to, or one advantage if you did, then you can borrow on it. So it adds a liquidity feature. And some of you have money scattered around from various retirement plans you've had over the years, and maybe you're having some anxiety because it's so spread so thin. If you want to help, we can help you do that. So if you fax us your statements, and we can set up a conference call with you. We can call your old vendors. We can find out the distribution procedures. And usually in about 5 or 10 minutes, we can settle the whole thing and then help you recapture some of your money that might be spread amongst old employers. Then you can always roll the money out. Once it's at Transamerica, if you don't want to have it there, fine, send it somewhere else. But the point is we can help you gather that and rope in all those funds that may be somewhere else. And some people might be saying, well, I can't afford to save. I'll wait till next year. Seems complicated. So those are some objectives or objections we hear sometimes. Well, if you look at even $25 a week, which is not probably people aren't spending on Starbucks $25 a week, but I'm sure cable TV is somewhat similar. So if you put money in to the 401k over 10 years, you would have about $17,000, which is significant. And that's not at a high rate of interest. It's at Transamerica figures at 6% rate of return, $25 a week grows to $17,000. In 25 years, $73,000, and in 35 years, $149,000. Fantastic amount of money for just $25 a week. And the key is doing it, taking action, and every journey begins with a single step. So you have to start your journey sometime and then thinking about that, there may be also an employer contribution. Well, I'll parrot what Monica said in the past.
Randy?
Sounds like Bob.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you.
We're going to look at the overall performance of the business and future capital requirements and so on. And in the end, we'll do an analysis and determine if it's if we're in a financial position to be able to do it. Just as a side note, the likelihood is the contribution would be a profit sharing plan contribution, which would then be spread across all participants based upon their compensation levels.
Well said. So, as the snowman indicates here, there could be additional dollars thrown on top of your savings in the 401k plan, and that'd be a huge positive opportunity, a great financial tailwind for everyone on the call, for sure. So, the contributing early, there's no substitute for it. So here's a quick example. There's a lady named Jill, and she starts contributing at age 21. I understand some of you are over age 21 at this point, but go with me here. So she puts in from age 21 until age 35. So she contributes in this area and then stops. So for about 14 years, she puts in some money, and then at age 65, she's going to have some amount of money, but her friend Jack waits to contribute until he's 35. He's busy with life here. Perhaps he bought a jet ski, whatever. He does a lot of stuff. And then, oh yeah, now I got to get serious about retirement saving. I'm 35. So Jack instead contributes all the way till he's 65. And then where Jill had stopped, of course, at age 35. And you're wondering, Randy, how does this turn out? Funny you should ask. Jill has more money, even though she contributed for 14 years. Her $21,000 grew to $193,000 over time. So huge amount of money. And again, she took many years off. Jack contributes much more, $46,000 until he retires, and he ends up with a smaller amount of money. The difference is time. Jill had more time in the plan. So the key is do it early. Don't delay, and some of the data we'll show you will support that. But the key is no one ever calls my office and says, oh, we made a mistake. We have too much money for retirement. That's not a problem people usually have. So I don't think anyone would regret, there's a saying, you can't go back and plant trees. So start putting money in as soon as you can, and even at a small amount, you can probably afford it. It seems so complicated. It isn't. We can help you, and the Transamerica's team can help as well. So how do you enroll? One of the June webinars, sadly, this is probably the last webinar. So some of you have attended one or two of these. I'm sure you're just delighted right now while we're on the call, but nonetheless, we've had webinars to discuss it, and there's some great material on Transamerica's website, and then you can also call our office. We'll help you. Transamerica has a fantastic, robust program to help you get into the plan. Some of you might, once you're a participant in the plan, want to know how your retirement outlook is. So if you put in some basic data, in fact, Lindsay, would you want to touch on this, your retirement outlook piece?
Yeah, I'd love to. So as Randy was saying, the purpose of the retirement outlook of the On Track program is just to really make it simple for everyone. When they go online, you can just quickly see where you stand. And he kind of pointed to or alluded to it earlier, the rainy, cloudy, sunny, partly, and all of that. And the way that it works is once you are online, you can kind of play with play with numbers, change your deferral, see what's recommended to get you to a better spot or a situation where you are more sunny versus rainy. And then if you wanted to diversify your portfolio, as Randy suggested, we make that easy as well, and you can kind of see how all the variables affect one another so that you can ultimately get to where you want to be when you retire.
Yeah, well said. So a rainy retirement would be one that's not glamorous and probably lacks income. And if you want to improve from rainy to cloudy, you can get some ideas from Transamerica on how to do that, etc. And also, everyone wants to have a sunny retirement. So that would go well. So anyway, well said. Thank you very much for that commentary. One of the great tools on Transamerica. Expert support. So you can call Transamerica and you can call our company to help. There's also amazing things that'll be very good for people, especially if you're a practitioner in the field. You may not be at a regular computer a lot, but maybe you've got time in between patients, and you can see you can use the web app on your phone. So you can download the Transamerica app and view your retirement on your phone and get quick updates. You can also do it at transamericaretirement.com or ta-retirement.com. Fantastic tools are online, but the mobile app is something that a lot of people are using, whether it's a tablet or a phone. Very brilliant way to keep up with your retirement savings and check in on things. A watched pot never boils. Don't do it every 5 minutes. And also, especially during times, we're going to have times when some of the financial investments you've made may not be doing well. So you have these swoons, and we don't want people to get discouraged. In fact, equities or stocks are the only things Americans won't buy when they're on sale. They'll want to buy at the top of the market or when things are going well, but when we should have bought was when things were cheap. And sadly, we have people that call our office, of course not your company, but other people will call and say, my account's going down. I don't want to contribute right now. Well, that should be the time when they should double their contributions. So think about that. And so if you're going to be using the mobile app a lot, don't be discouraged if the market's down. Be glad you're investing that pay period. So word to the wise. Don't act like the average American. All right, so here's some facts about your plan that are germane to your plan. And these are very important to know. Some of you, I think everyone on the call is probably a W-2 employee, but in case you were a 1099 employee or you have 1099 income from another entity, you can't participate in the plan. So you can be, only with your W-2 income can you use the 401k, and that's from Biobehavioral Care. So you need to be 21 and up and be with the company for 6 months and be expected to work 1,000 hours a year. So why 1,000 hours? Good question. That's the IRS mark for someone that should be eligible for a retirement plan. So it's considered full-time for a retirement program. Auto enrollment. So if you do not make an election to not participate, you will be participating in July. Can you stop at any time? Yes. So any pay period you can go to 0, but you can also change your amount up and down as well. So you could go to 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 4. You can move your amount monthly. But the 6% contribution rate will be your auto enrollment amount. Again, you will be enrolled unless you opt out. It's called negative election. Can you change your contribution rate? I stated that already. Yes, on a monthly basis. So you can change your rate of contribution online with Transamerica. So we can log on and it'll say right now you're doing, let's just say 6. And you can do, again, any amount you want up to nearly 100% of your pay, which would then cap out at the IRS maximum of either $18,000 or $24,000 and change. So that's something to keep in mind. You can go up or down every month, and but not more than once a month. So you can, intra-month won't work, but monthly you can do it. Can you roll over money from other plans? Yes. So you could take money from a 403B plan, which some of you have. Nonprofits have 403B. You might be involved in one of those. A 401k, a KEO, etc. There's all kinds of plans that will, IRAs. So just call our office and we can counsel you if that character of money is okay. But more than likely it will be. After President Bush, the first, I think it was Bush 43, passed the Retirement TEFRA Act, or DEFRA, that allowed people to mix monies in these plans. So it's old news, but it's possible. So discretionary match or contribution from profit sharing, that could happen in the future. Not planned right now. The profit sharing would be subject to a vesting schedule. None of your money is. So if you contribute money, it's always your money. You can take it out and leave with it right away. The company's money would be subject to a vesting schedule. What is that? You would have, based on your years of service going forward from this July, you would be able to share and take away that money from the company. It goes up 20% per year. So it's kind of like a ramp. It's every year you would be vested in both the contribution and the gains of 20%. So every time that happens, every time another year passes, you'd be a little bit more vested. We'll show you another example of that later in the presentation. Do you have access to your funds prior to retirement? Yes, it has a loan provision, so your money isn't off limits forever. You can use it from time to time, and again, without any tax penalty, so it's quite an opportunity.